Hello, and welcome back. Are we here?
We're here.
Is it?
I feel like we're here.
I'm here.
I think we're here.
Is it?
Are we here?
Raj
Is it
is here.
working? I think it's.
I think Justin's here.
I think
it's
we're all
working.
here, and I think
think the
you're all
team's
here too. Hello, I think the gang's all
Hi.
here. Hello, Wastelanders, and
Hello.
welcome back to War Games News Radio for, well, episode 2. It is now
Episode 2?
of Home on the Rage, a Fistful of Neutrons story. We are playing Fallout 2D20 by Modifius Entertainment. My name is Ryan, and I will be overseeing this little adventure here, this 3-part, 1-shot, a 3-shot of sorts. And these...
Something like that.
Something like that. And these are our players. Hello. Hello, gang. Hello, you three.
Hello. Hello, overseer.
Hi.
Hello. How are y'all doing today on a Sunday? Super duper. I'm feeling
the
pretty
treat.
good. I'm feeling pretty good myself. As mentioned, this is a mini series, very small series of sorts within a larger series as we take a quick little break from the Few Neutrons More campaign and make a quick trip back to Longmount, Colorado, where it all began in the countryside here, which is currently being terrorized by some hungry mutants. So less than ideal circumstances that we find our gang back in. But rest assured, we will get back to the wonderful Wastelanders of Johnny, Grant, and Mr. Microwave in due time. More on that to come. But there's some other wonderful Wastelanders here, and that's you guys. That's all you folks in the chat here today. So thank you all for tuning in, new viewers and old viewers alike. Who do we got? We got Craspu in the chat here. We got Surprise Boulette. Thank you so much for jumping in on the YouTube membership train. It means so much. It helps us do stuff like this, which we'll talk about in just a minute here. Zach Posey, also one of our newest members. Thank you so much. Devin Shipwreck, amazing supporter of the channel there as well. We could talk about that in a minute too. Craig Steinhoff, George Keefe. Oh, geez, Mads Destruction. We got everybody in the house tonight, and I'm really excited to pick up where we left off, which we'll get back into in just one quick second. But before we do that, quick, lay of the land, as we always do. We are playing in the Fallout universe. Things could get a little dodgy and weird. In the 14A sort of realm, things are a little bit darker even in this quick little series, but it's a good dark, not the bad dark. So it's, it's mature subject matter. It's adult situations. It's fucking swears. It's the stuff you like to see when you turn on the TV. So we think you're going to like this show because it's not going to be that weird. Underline the that. Still kind of weird.
That weird. Kind of weird.
Still
Good
kinda
weird.
weird.
Not weird.
Good.
Not like
but
that weird.
it's
Like
not
that.
Not like RPG horror stories weird. It's just like
No. Not like Slender Man weird. It's like
Oh, great.
It's like regular man weird. It's not important. But what is important is that we are all still raising funds for humanitarian aid in Ukraine as well. That's the worst segue of all time. But if you do feel like donating, we got the tracker on the bottom of the screen there. We've got the link in the description, which you can find down below. You folks have helped us raise over $3,400, which is amazing. Thank you so much. And on top of that, you've also helped us raise money for this amazing beast, which we're going to I will give you guys a quick show to here, because the war rig is up and running here tonight, and that's what's running the show right now.
Yeah.
You guys in the stream can see this photo right now. You guys in the chat, the rest of the team can see this massive machine underneath here, which is now running this show, and you'll see that things are running pretty damn smooth, and that's all thanks to our next level up challenge campaign. I can't even remember what we named it. I'm just so excited. But you guys all donated and did an amazing job helping us build this machine to help this show and this channel get even better, and we are so excited to talk about all of the fun things we have planned. But that's not why you're here tonight. Tonight you're here for another round of Wasteland fuckery. So let's get into it, because the curtain falls. As we come back to Longmount, Colorado. In our last episode, we discovered that our beloved town is in fact this entire region, more or less, has fallen on very hard times due to, well, mutants. Ever increasing and ever threatening mutant attacks are seeming non-stop these days. And isolated out in the wastelands, the town has barely been skating by, beset on all sides by these mutant aggressors. And you've managed to hang on for this long, mostly thanks to your iron will and the barricades that now surround the town, scrapped together from old cars and junk and whatever else rubble in the wasteland you've managed to find. But the appearance of an unexpected visitor last night has shaken things up in this dire time here in Longmount, as Margot, an old acquaintance from way back in like episode 4 of the first season, a side character that really had no relevant or importance at all, showed up at the town gates beset by super mutants. And this, well, old acquaintance had news that there's more mutants on the way, and they'll be here in 6 days. Now, with a ticking clock, you've all agreed to help her avenge, and we're throwing dice.
Sorry.
We could throw in a lot of 91 is the amount of dice that we're throwing.
That's how many badass this is.
That's how many
It's
badass
91 badass.
this new machine is. Yeah.
Many.
Now with the ticking clock, you've all agreed to help her avenge her slain husband Jolene and her destroyed town, and you're also hatching a plan for survival to keep Longmount from meeting the same fate, which so far is involved heading out to Fort Lupton to search for supplies, beefing up defenses, and possibly some guerrilla warfare tactics were on the menu as well, among a myriad of other options that you laid out on the table. But those seem to be the top 3 set to mind. But as night set in after your battle with the mutant hounds, you managed to also get the radio working, Repairman Bert, thanks to some assistance from both Yuri and Dorman Gunz and every radio that you could scrap around from town. And when you finally got that thing working, it got through, and you revealed that this entire corner of the wasteland is, in fact, in a very similar boat with hungry mutants knocking down the door. It is now the next morning, just a little after dawn. The sky is a sort of sickly pale shade of gray as this sort of spring month, whatever it might be, is slowly turning into summer. And on this morning, the town begins to stir, and all the ragged, huddled masses of the 24 or so people who are still calling this place home rise and mill about in the morning time. And while the situation is dire, for the first time in a long time, there's a glimmer of hope. Word that the mutants will be here in 6 days obviously has everybody on edge, but there is a feeling that with a little luck and the element of surprise, you just might be able to turn the tide. Now, for the sake of brevity, because we are doing a 3-shot, 1-shot truncated, and the clock is ticking, we've jumped ahead a little bit, but I want to know what you guys did overnight. Who did you guys reach out to? How long did you stay up trying to get people, on the horn? Did you do any other sort of tasks? Anything else you were trying to do? Because it was kind of just getting into night. And how much sleep did you get as well? Because for this 3-shot, we're going to be using for the first time ever the fatigue mechanics in this rule set. So if you guys don't get a lot of sleep, it's going to come back and bite you, because how fatigue works, the more tired you get, the less action points you get when you would generate action points, say on a successful skill roll or from perks and the like. So if you're super tired, you're not going to be generating a lot of action points, and action points are also super important in this because you're going to use those to trade with me to keep the narrative spicy. So you can't go Superman without sleeping this entire 6-day period, but you also don't have to get 8 hours of sleep every night. The mechanics are pretty light. If you get on a period of time, you go up 1 level of not being tired, basically. So if you're getting some sleep every day, you should be okay. But keep it in mind, because if you try to go 48 hours without getting a wink, it's going to come back and bite you.
Don't we know it?
Don't you know, especially at your age, Yuri, being this old.
I'm 100.
Yeah, I mean, you're no spring chicken either. So
No,
there
Norman
you
Gunz is
go.
not that
So that's what I want to know right now. What did you guys get up to overnight? And I'm going to start with Dorman Gunz. What was your evening looking like once that radio turned on?
Well, yeah, I went around town and found people that looked like they were a little worried. And I told them everything was going to be okay. Then I showed them how to swing a stick or aim their pipe rifle and told them everything was going to be okay. And then when I was leaving, I told them everything was going to be okay again.
So let me get this
Tell
right.
them what you're going to tell
Reassurance.
them. Tell them, then tell them what you just finished telling them. I read that in a holotape.
Gotcha. So if I'm getting the message across, I think you told them everything's going to be okay.
I did, and that voice is going to kill me.
Okay, nice. So don't I know that one too? I like that. So you've done a little
I'm going to reassure the public. I'm
some morale
door to
boosting,
door.
if
Yeah,
you
exactly.
will. Yeah. Okay. That's
trying to help
very
each
good.
other out.
Okay.
Exactly.
Grant, not Grant. This is different. That's well, I mean, it's a different guy, but you also gone around and do some
Yeah.
morale boosting. Okay, very good. Doing some light training reinforcement, if you will.
Yeah.
Kind of bolstering the ranks. I like this.
Light treason.
You know, like Helm's Deep when
lighter
he's like,
treason.
picks up that sword that's a piece of shit and the kid's holding it and he's like, yeah, that's a good sword.
Yeah.
Aragorn or whatever. He's like, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm doing.
I really like that, and
Trust in the guns.
I like that particularly. There's a kid that you do that to. That's very good. Yeah.
That's a good pipe rifle there.
Yeah, a kid gets.
Look,
a
here's
good
how you.
pipe rifle.
It did jam right just now, but it's a good gun.
I like
That's
that.
gonna work.
I like that a lot. Yuri, what about yourself? What was your? I guess also Gunz. What was your sleepy time like? Did you get a lot of rest, or what did you? How did you fare?
Yeah, I found this little like stray kitten that was wandering around, and I just sort of set it here, and I sat back in a chair in the center of the bar, and I just was like petting the kitten, which was like a 1-finger pet because it's way smaller than my big hand was.
Yeah.
And I probably got like 6-7 hours of sleep in the tavern.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just making this the most lovable, adorable character ever. Has a pet kitten and teaching kids how to defend themselves from monsters. This is amazing.
There we go.
And you have a pet kitten. Okay, very good. Yuri, what about yourself? How did your evening fare?
Yeah, I think Yuri getting a radio live for the first time in a long time in Longmount was very, very incentivized to use this time to its best. I think he tried to get Altona on the horn first off, because that was kind of his plan from last session.
Yep.
Was to try to get in contact with Altona. And then, however that went, after that, reaching out farther and farther in rings of where allies would be to sort of update them on what is going on. I think he was using a lot of if he got anyone on the horn, it was a lot of cloak and dagger kind of clandestine talk.
Ooh,
like
okay, sneaky.
Coded stuff of like, hey, do you remember the that time that we saw that guy with the goatee next to the place?
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying because it's a broadcast, it's Broadway, so like anybody can be listening in.
Absolutely.
So like when he's talking to the Altona residents, he's like trying to tell them what's going on without telling them what's going on.
Hey, there's super mutants coming in 6 days. Like
what was the fort's name again?
Fort Lupton.
Lupton.
Oh yeah, so like I think he would have like sort of tried to sneak some like references to Fort Lupton in for those who were like sharp enough to pick them up. And we were going on like a scouting trip to the to the lupine areas where the wolves are.
Oh, so very clandestine. Yes.
Etc. Etc.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
And and then actually, you know what? I think as per sort of the narrative that we set up last episode, Yuri didn't get much sleep at all. I think he maybe got an hour of shut-eye before dawn and sort of fitful tossing and turning. It was like,
Yep.
just imagine this old ghoul, like chain smoking, trying to get anyone that he can on the radio.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
was kind of his night, his evening.
Well, that sounds about right. I figured Yuri would probably sacrifice the body for the play on that one. So why don't we go ahead and give yourself 1 fatigue, sir? So when you gain 1 action point, you in fact gain none until you get yourself some gosh darn sleep, because you currently
Okay.
are weary, Yuri. You are weary.
Yeah. Let's. How do I track that?
That is a great question.
Fantasy
in Fantasy Grounds, I believe in your character sheet here. If
Yeah,
we go
I'm
to
on the main area.
Yes.
Yeesh.
Oh, it might actually be in combat. Either way, I'll keep track of it here for you.
You'll remember. Okay,
I've
sounds
got it
good.
here for you. You are weary. So when you gain action points,
Oh boy, am I not? Oh, I found it. I'm weary. I found it.
there you go. Very good.
Yeah. Oh boy, is Yuri weary or what?
I figured narratively that would make sense, because I mean, even when you were describing yourself in the last episode, you were describing yourself as having not slept. So like this all tracks.
This makes sense.
This all makes sense. And last up is our friend Repairman Burton Ernie. What was your evening like after those lights came on, sir?
Bert was going around town, seeing if there was anything important that needed fixing. You know,
Okay.
like mechanisms used to close the doors and keep the water running, and
Okay.
the electrical components and generators and that kind of stuff. So he was kind of running around all over the place, making sure everything's in top working order, so he can leave with like a clear conscience that he's not leaving a bunch of broken
Okay.
stuff behind.
Okay, I like that.
Can I have made a deal with Burton that if he gets any sort of, junk that's about this big or smaller softball size, that he gives it to
Nokia
me?
flip phone size.
Because I did find an LED collar for a dog that had a pattern of Comic Sans on it saying, "Wow, such bright."
Okay, yeah. Any particular junkables that could be useful? Okay,
Avalanche.
I like that.
Blenders.
That's some cross pollination of you guys using some abilities there. Okay, I like this absolutely. So yeah, okay, Bert, you go around, do some checks on like the generators. I like that, making sure that like all them hinges are hinging. Got to keep that.
Got a WD-40 and a smaller WD-40 to open the big ones.
Oil can.
Exactly. Keep it go. Okay, I like that. So we got a little morale boost in, a little bit of that. How about how late do you stay up doing all those things to keep the settlement running on time there?
So let's say Bert gets like 50% of a night's worth of sleep that he ordinarily would get.
Okay.
He didn't stay up too late, but he did stay up pretty late.
Okay, so you'd be on the tired if you don't get another decent sleep. Basically, it's 6 hours. If you don't get a 6-hour chunk, then you're not going to be you're going to go down a peg every time. So there you go. So you're not fatigued yet, but you're on the way if you don't get another good one within the next couple of rotations here. But that's where we were last night. But as of now, we snap back into the market square, where we find the party gearing up and planning out their next move, with their eyes set on Fort Lupton. And if we in fact go over to the other map, and I will drop it into, well, there's the war rig now, but I'll drop it like it's hot as we go into the world map, which we've got here. Bam! Which I'll drop into the chat so you guys can take a look as well. The map comes from Reddit user Estefan, I believe, if I'm saying that correctly, who we've referenced this map a few times before, but I figured, hey, well, we've got the fancy new rig and all the fancy new things. Let's drop it into the actual world map so you guys can see. We don't use it exactly, but it works as a rough approximation for this world to take a look, because Longmount is in the dead center of it, and off to the east you will see there is Fort Lupton itself, which make a big old trek out to. You've set your eyes, like I said, on the fort, and you've discussed potentially trying to get some goodies there that could help you in the defense of the town. And this is where we find ourselves now. Again, as mentioned, there's a bit of a hustle and a bustle, as there's a bit of a pep in people's step for the first time in a long time, as there's a bit of a twinkle in all the eyes that maybe we'll all be able to pull through this episode. So we move into this morning time in this market square. How dost you all want to go about this? And we're again going to go into kind of this, what I would call in question period type thing, where it's a bit free ball, where you guys can ask me some questions about the, in character, out of character, about the terrain, the situation, just who's out there as far as resources. And I'll also swing back around to the radio here in a minute. It's going to be part of that. And you guys can do some exchange of action points to sort of better those situations which you ask and then get described back to you. Or again, if there's a narrative reason why you might have a certain thing, then we can barter together with action points to sort of figure out what that might could be. But first and foremost, we'll go with the radio, because Yuri, you were able to get through to the Altona Hotel. The signal wasn't great, but you did get through to Mr. Alexander, and you did find out that he is there, hunkered down with his family, Cookie and Robbie, and less than half a dozen sort of refugees, folks who've just sort of been stragglers that are just sort of stuck in a hole up there, as they have been in the past. It's not good. They're running out. In fact, we'll do it in character because, Mr. Yuri, it's good to hear your voice, but we don't have a lot in the way of supplies. That's for sure.
Indeed, I understand. We're going on a little bit of a hunting trip to see if we can pick up some supplies that might help us repel any enemies that we might have. I'll be sure if we collect a surplus to send them down your way. Maybe I'll come and pay you a visit myself. How would you feel about a little vacation in Longmount for a few days?
Well, it's possible that you're a mite bit better set up than we are here, but I don't much fancy a trip, especially with the youngin' and the missus. And I don't really fancy leaving them behind either, but just I don't really have much in the way of firepower here if we run into anything on the road.
I understand completely. I'm just thinking about maybe getting a few of the other settlements together to circle the wagons, as it were, before or until we can repel the mutants that are descending upon us.
Well, I do like where your head's at. A little bit of, at the very least, payback, or having a bit of a plan and knowing where they're coming from is a bit of good news. But
I don't have anything for certain yet. Like I said, we're about to go on a small expedition, but I will let you know what we find, and maybe it will change your mind in our circumstances as well. Thank you, Mr. Alexander. As always, it is a pleasure to hear from you.
Before you get off that call, can I shamble up and ask if they have any spare, like 40% alcohol in bulk?
Oh, yeah, Cookie gets on the horn and says, yeah, we still got some spirits left, but to be honest, a lot of the good stuff's been, well, actually this might be beneficial because a lot of the good stuff's been cleared out, but we got a lot of the moonshine left over.
What rhymes with Molotov?
Oh, you guys looking to make some more of those Andropov cocktails?
Yeah. Yeah, if we could get a bunch of and Profdiev cocktails, that'd be fantastic.
and Prof, yeah, bunch of Negronis. Yeah, okay. Can I get a coffee, martini, please, espresso, to go. Drive through. She finds out that you have a quick chat and find out that they do have a surplus of some. I like that. In fact, will if you're willing to pay the AP, of which you should have 6 in your pouch here. Then if you want to pay some AP, then they will have some ingredients to perhaps make some cocktails should and would they make a trip down. And I like that indeed. So yes, to round that out, I like that. So you spent 1 to they've got some supplies, which I like that. And yes, Yuri, your chat there, he seems up to it, but he's a little shaky about making the trip all by their lonesome without either
I get
backup
it. I got
or
it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I let him know I understand your concerns, and don't worry. You would be well supported on your trip from Altona to Longmount, I guarantee. We're about to make tracks here, Mr. Alexander, but I hope to see you very soon.
He extends the same and is looking forward to hearing from you and news of your expedition. On your next call, you are able. You sort of.
Dos Vidania.
Dos Vidania. You pick up not much else as you sort of do your bands as you search out wider and wider until you hit the hub of Boulder City, and from there you're getting all kinds of static. You sort of start to pick up that probably a lot of what you were picking up was either from Boulder or getting like bounced back.
Like repeaters,
like places like from around is getting picked up there and then sort of amplified and sent around because it is sort of the biggest, just big old antenna in the middle of the wasteland. But you are able.
So
to...
everyone's kind of calling Boulder City for help, but we don't know what's.
Calling Boulder City for help, but sort of it feels more like it's just everybody's just sort of calling out similar to what you're doing and sort of trying to get a lay of the land. And
Yuri takes out a notebook and just starts making plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Yuri starts.
Yuri likes that everyone is asking. There's a diffusion. There's a vacuum of power that Yuri is very attracted to right now.
Okay. Very curious. Yuri likes the vacuum is the note I'm making in this right now, and that could be taken in a lot of ways, I guess. But
12-year-old Justin loved the vacuum.
Oh God,
too.
there it is. I mean, you didn't have
that's
to.
where we didn't want to
go.
See, I just set it out, and you just anyway, it's not important.
Yeah.
Either
So
way.
Dorman Gunz is going to shamble up to Yuri at some point in the square. And
why are you shambling so much? You're completely
I'm a shambler.
Human being. You're not.
I'm
not a zombie.
I'm a shambler. I shamble. It takes
He's a
less
shambling
effort.
man.
Hey, Mr.
He's
Yuri,
casual.
most of the time when we kick guys out of the bar, the only time they come back is if they left something behind. Do we know if these raiders and rampagers are they looking for something, or are they just out burning everything down?
I would assume, Pedro, that they are being led by either a master or Gen 1, such as yourself. Something a little bit more intelligent than your average super mutant.
Thank you.
Their
Aw.
actions and behaviors are too coherent for random attacks, from what I understand that Margot has explained to us. Yes.
So I think I'll be figurative. Maybe we got to get that leader his coat, and then he won't care so much about getting back into the club.
Well, I think I know your meaning. However,
I've got his coat right here, and I pull out a baseball grenade and I throw it up in the air and catch it in my hand.
we will need more armaments than that if we are going to repel him. Which is why I think Fort Lupton is is in the near future. And I start kind of walk and talking, Aaron Sorkining you, walk and talk over towards the stables where I begin to retrieve, brush down, and saddle up with her bags.
I will help you.
Anola May, give her the
Oh,
I will
switches.
help you.
Yeah, Anola May is going to come with us on this trip. And I look over her back at you, up at you, and say, "You're strong. However, we will need someone to carry the spoils that we find." And then kind of give Anola May some scritches under the chin. She's come.
Yep, she gives a moo.
She's way more Brahmin than I am. That's for sure.
100%
Yeah,
farm
so
raised.
I think that was that's kind of just Yuri's jam.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I will say you aren't able to get really anything clear through from Boulder, except for one thing. You do pick up a familiar voice who you recognize as Specs, the young weaponsmith who did come back to Longmount at the end of the first season, but has since left. And you would all know that she went back to Boulder when all the troubles started because her father was she left him behind and she couldn't bear to leave him there all by her own. So you didn't know what became of her up until now, but you did get through. You weren't able to learn much, but you did get through and you did hear her voice. So you know she's there and you know she's alive, but that's all you know.
She's about as safe as she's going to be where she is.
All things considered, it's a miracle she made it in one piece. But as you're saying it with the walking and talking, and I like that even more because we're walking and talking now through to the town square where we find the gang now saddled up. Anola, I like how you're packing Anola through here. We'll dig into that in just a moment here. But the plan for your expedition involved the three of you. As well as Margot and St. Louis, who you'd chosen to be as sort of your tag-alongs for this, as well as Enola, and so the group of you are all there, and you've got some gagglers and some watchers on the unnamed wastelanders as such who live in town, as well as the more notable named characters like Carla, Crazy Carl, and in fact I forgot about a couple named characters as well, like Roper, the highwayman who we encountered at the very end of the last season 1, named after a friend of the channel, Levi Roper. As well, who is in town, part of the caravan guard now, which is sort of amalgamated between the leftover highwaymen and the MacArthur's remnants. So you've got some gagglers watching on as you assemble the party, and you've got Anola with you as well. So now here's where we get into some fun stuff because it's traveling time. Yes, sir.
Just before I wouldn't interrupt, but I don't want to travel without this. Could I have rigged up some kind of like travois, like 2 long poles with a cross beam or 2 to like hold gear, and I can just drag it?
You're reading my mail here. I was going to ask, in what way and how do you guys want to assemble this sort of caravan? What are you gonna do as far as how you want to get stuff back? What have you rigged up as far as transportation? Because again, since we sort of cut from Longmount up until now, you guys had a trade caravan going more or less. So what does this look like? And I like this right now, Mr. Grant here. We've got Gunz has like a traveling stretcher sort of thing.
I've got something for this if you want.
Is there a stretcher that we could use?
Yes. Go, Yuri, go.
Yeah, can I spend some action points to find the back chassis, the back half of a chassis of a like quarter-ton pickup truck?
Okay.
Like just the box.
Yeah.
Not the cab at all.
Yeah,
it's just the box and an axle, and that's what we've hooked up with some steel pipes up over an open back end. And she's got a little, and it's painted red. It's you know what it is? It's
a little red wagon
of a Toyota Hilux, the SR5. It's a banged up Toyota SR5, box.
Yeah, you've rigged up a trailer. You've rigged up a trailer for Enola May to haul gear and shit around with.
For Enola or me?
Either.
Or both.
I mean,
Well, so I was thinking that so if Gunz has a stretcher that he's rigged up,
okay,
and then if Yuri's got, 'cause you guys
perfect
can both have these things.
Yeah.
I like this.
let me spend some AP.
Yeah,
for
we'll do that. You guys we'll spend 2 AP here.
shopping carts.
Spend one more. Yeah, spend
Shopping
too
carts
many.
would be fun.
There you go. Okay, so very well done. Spend that AP. I like it, baby. Okay. Very good. Okay, so you guys have some gear. So looks like you could haul back some pretty tasty stuff. Now, as far as
And then sorry.
Yep.
Can I also could we spend an AP to get some of the armed like Legion NCR deserters to maybe dig us some like pitfall traps or like trenches?
Get started on defenses while we're out.
Yeah.
Why don't we leave it up to MacArthur?
Okay.
I like this idea. Why don't we like we had a quick meeting and said we're going on a real quick run out to Fort Lupton, and like MacArthur, you're in charge, but like 80s montage, get this place into fighting shape.
Okay.
Like while we're on the road.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Okay, that's a pretty tasty play though. So I'm gonna say that's gonna cost 2 AP to get him sort of doing some advanced like look ahead, like heads up, fucking Ivan. Let's go fight Ivan Drago. Shit.
Yeah,
Cool.
punch sides of beef or do whatever you got to do. But
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. So you guys have spent some AP for that too. Okay. So we've got MacArthur. MacArthur is getting the caravan guard whipped into shape. And
yeah, I think that
working
makes
on
sense
traps.
to leave like the caravan guard and stuff back to defend Longmount while we fuck off.
Yeah, makes sense. And they're going to work on some traps and some defenses and whatnot. They're going to start that plan. They're going to start phase 2 basically while you're still running phase 1. That's a bold play, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. I like.
Bert,
I like
Bert,
where
what
we're
do you
at.
want to? What do you want to get going?
Yeah, Bert.
while we're on the road?
What sort of juice are you thinking? So last night you went around and did some prep. How do you think that would get you squared away and maybe do some advantaging for where you're at now, getting ready to head out into the wild blue yonder?
I think Bert was also maybe scrounging for spare parts for things while he was out fixing stuff.
Okay.
So that if he comes across something that might be a little broken, need a little fixing at Fort Lupton, he might have a little sack of transistors and random odds and ends, lengths of wire, tubing,
You got
etc.
goobers. You got
Right?
goobers to work with.
I like it.
He's like, if it doesn't need it, snatch it for the bag.
Okay, I like that. In fact, yeah, this is great. So let's say while you were running around doing that all night, you were able to like optimize some systems. You were able to like figure out like, oh, you know what, I can pair this generator with this old whatever, and like strip down some parts. And you actually, you got some like the water pump and the generator working a lot more efficiently, and you were able to salvage 2 rare materials out of the deal. So we'll go ahead and do that for your troubles as well. So some good MacGuffins. These are handy for basically any sort of repair you might need. They're high level goobers. Basically the highest level goober in the whole game. And you guys will also notice, as part of your sort of getting ready to head outness, and also because we built these characters sort of at level 10, you'll also have some more gear in your inventories from that you would have had it as like your starting level equipment. So each of you has a couple extra little MacGuffins in there. Like Bert, you've got a multi-tool, which is super handy. So that can kind of represent you sort of. Last time you said you sort of had a bag, a satchel, sort of full of tools and stuff, and also like there's like a lab coat and have renamed and reskinned some other things in there. But you all have a couple little MacGuffins that might help you on this little excursion here. And in fact, which is a good segue, is there anything else that you think from a town under siege's worth of supplies that you think within reason, and I'm looking at you here, Grant, something within reason that you might have in the stockpile supply that you could.
Are you looking at me with the within reason line mostly,
yes,
or
correct.
the what creative bullshit can I come up with line?
Well, both.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So George Keith brings up a good point about the shopping cart from the Behemoth backpack.
Oh.
That might be around somewhere. Interestingly, perhaps enough.
There's a thought. Yeah, maybe Altona.
Also,
yeah.
I'm also interested in. There's not like a whole lot of trees probably around here, but if there's any like long, even rebar, I'm sure there's a ton of rebar. I'm interested in like rebar pikes that we can like get into the ground.
Okay.
I'm big on the defensive things right now. That's
Sure.
where my head's noodling.
Okay, yeah, I'll tie that into MacArthur, sort of the traps and stuff, rebar,
and just
spike
boom booms.
pits.
Very interested in Andropov cocktails
Boom
and
booms.
anything else that makes loud noises.
Okay. I like that.
I don't imagine I'm going to find anything more exciting than my Excalibur, but I will look for, I don't know, like a super sledge or like, something.
Sure.
Or anything else that's swingable.
Keep some sort of, okay. No,
maybe the
I like
half of the Toyota Hilux, like I'll take the engine block and use that as a bludgeoning weapon.
Just throw it. Yeah, for sure. How about anything for your traversing travois? Because this is what will bring us now to our journey test here. So we need to determine your trip here. So this is from the New Children of Adam questline book, and it's handy.
Strike out east in the morning.
We run down the questions
as the
here.
sun is coming up.
As the sun comes up, the question you have here is the journey along established trade routes between settlements.
I think it's along some destroyed roads, at least.
Yeah. It's
not established trade routes.
Not established trade routes, so we're going to go with a no on that one. So there we go. Are you familiar with the area? Yes. Is it under control of a friendly faction as of right now?
No,
not so much.
Neutral.
Has the neutral? We're gonna go with hostile. Has the group been given good directions, or do you know prominent landmarks? Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's in your backyard, absolutely. And are obstacles in the paths easily avoided or circumnavigated? I'm gonna say in this case probably a no. So our baseline is a difficulty 3 for this test. So it's not undifficult. It will be a strength. It's not a strength. Excuse me.
I was about to say strength.
I got
survival. It's strength. Survival endurance test. But the last question to determine the final the complication range and any difficulties will be how do you guys want to travel? Cautious, normal, or hurried? In what way and expediency do you want to get there? It's about a day's ride at a normal clip. They're one way there, 1 day back. So it'll be a 2-way round trip at sort of the middle ground minimum.
I would say normal. I don't know. I don't think that cautious is necessary because we don't really know what we're going to walk. I mean, we don't know that there's anything bad out there. You know what I mean? It's not like we know we're walking into a trap.
Right. Yeah, we're not going north. So if you're going north, it'd be cautious. I agree with Yuri. I think probably just normal pace. I don't think we need to bust our ass because we do have 6 days.
Okay. Yeah, it makes
because that'll burn two to get out, 1 to get out there, 1 to get back.
Yeah.
So then we got 4 left. Ish. I think normal.
Okay, normal it is. So then it's going to take a normal amount of time, which is a day there and back. But the test difficulty will be reduced by 1, so it's only going to be a difficulty 2 test. But the complication range will be 19 and 20. So you're not looking to roll either of those. So now the last question is who gonna make the test?
You're the caravaner, man. Yuri's the caravaner.
Yeah, okay. That is true.
I mean, narratively, that does make a lot of sense.
That does make a lot of sense. I will unfold the map and say, listen, we are going to do this quickly as we can. Not necessarily quietly, but cleanly. We are going to be moving. We are moving through unfamiliar or familiar, yet potentially hostile territory. I know that none of you have ever been on a loop with me before. please, and I ask of you, follow my lead. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for quite some time. And then, yeah, I guess I'm going to make it is a endurance plus.
It is endurance survival. It is a difficulty 2 test. Do you want to buy any things and do any stuff?
My target window is a 10.
Okay.
Pretty good. Can I buy another dice? I'll buy another dice.
You can, with the action points in the pool, you have 2. You can buy 1, and if you want to buy a second one, you'll go into the negative and give 1 action point to me.
So it would be 4 dice in total if I could buy a second one.
Correct.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay.
This is an important roll.
It's a pretty important test, so let's throw some action points my way.
Now dice modifier, I say +2, right? In the modifier.
Correct.
Okay,
right.
Let's do it.
Endurance survival, target 10.
Ooh. Oh, big
Holy
double
shit.
crit.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Double
Yuri knows
crit.
what he's fucking
Yuri
doing.
knows, man.
That speech was not bullshit. You talked a big game, and as you guys set out with your gang in tow, and you are given a hero's salute as you head out through the town. You head out and like you've got it dialed. You guys are moving super smooth as you go, and you are able to follow the routes. You recognize these, even though your trade route runs south. You know where you've been, and this isn't your first rodeo on a trade route. And sure enough, you are able to navigate within that day perfectly without getting into any sort of trouble. You are, because you did crit succeed so frickin' much through there, I will give you the opportunity. You've gained some action points. You haven't gained as much because you are fatigued. Where you would have gained 5, you only gained 4, sir.
Only 4.
Yeah.
Only 4.
Only 4, shucks. But you have gained them. Oh, actually, I guess it would have been because it was a difficulty
3.
2. So yeah, you gained either way. You gained some action points because you did so well on this journey. Is there anything that you would like to do and make use of this time? You are out here in the wastes for the first time in a long time without feeling. I'm getting ready. I'm getting hot in here. Whew, the story's heating up.
He's heating up.
As you are heading out into the waste, and this is the first time you've been out sort of in a while, without right now, because of, the way you're traveling and you don't see any sort of obvious sign of threat. You're feeling like you've got some room to maneuver out here. Is there anything you want to do with this time out here in the wasteland?
Yeah, we've got St. Louis with us, correct?
You do. You've got St. Louis and Margot are along for the ride, along with Anola May.
I think I'm gonna focus on St. Louis because he's an old hand. Like, he's a fucking road raider.
He is.
So
an old hand with his one hand.
With his one hand. His one hand is as good as anybody else's 2 hands.
True.
I'm going to St. Louis. If I could ask a favor of you while we are on our journey here.
I reckon you could.
We are making extremely good time. The roads are in very good shape, and the weather is holding out. It is a saying in this country, make hay while the sun shines.
I'm unfamiliar with it.
It's hay was a... Never mind. Make razor grain while the sun shines. Is this better?
Sure. Yeah. All right. That's closer.
Okay. I would like you to do either some scouting or some scavenging while we are traveling. It is...
okay.
It is whatever you are most comfortable with, but either we can gain the information or we can fill the packs.
Okay. Doing some scavenging. I like that.
God,
or
we make a wish in one hand and shit in the other?
Sure. Yeah, some scavenging.
But he's only got the so I don't know.
Scouting. I like that. I'm not going to make you spend any AP for this because you created out so well. This is a punish and reward scenario, and this is a reward scenario. So there you go. So very, very well done. Yeah, you know what? We'll let the fates decide what St. Louis finds as he tracks out, and he does agree. You know what? You're right. We are making a critically good amount of time right now. Boo, boo. So yeah, I think that's fair enough. I'll do a little bit of recon while we go, and I'll meet up with y'all back at the fort by we should reach it just before sundown. We'll say you made even better time because of that crit, so you'll get there with time to spare in the day, whereas you were probably going to be showing up at night, which is not ideal. But yeah, I'll meet you there around sundown. Sounds like a plan. And he skitters off, and it's like one of those scenes where like you turn around and like you look and he's not there, but he's like just behind a cactus.
Really weird mental picture.
Just a one-armed cactus is out there in Colorado.
Yeah,
like, I can see you.
No, you can't.
I can
Shut up.
clearly see you.
No, you
Shut
can't.
up! I'm a cactus.
Look over there. And he just like goes behind a rock. And St. Louis heads off to go, and we'll let the dice and the rolls decide what St. Louis discovers out there on the way. But the rest of the day is fairly uneventful in the good sort of sense. You do sort of pass by, the usual wasteland wreckage and, detritus as you go, but you do notice as well that these sort of the mutants aren't just... Their presence isn't just sort of affecting your own mental state. It's having like an impact on the terrain itself and just the land. Like where you were noticing that even in this, blasted out wasteland, there used to be rad stags and rad possums and different sort of fauna and flora that you could make use of and, forage and scavenge. It's desolate now. Like everything has been more or less picked clean, even more so than it used to be. You've noticed a lack of game, recently with the hunters, finding less and less as sort of the mutants' range moves farther and farther. But now you're sort of getting the full picture of it for the first time, and like the land is dying. It's like Fern Gully shit right now. Like Hexus is out there like sucking the life from the land, and the mutants are the cause of it as well. Things are just generally really icky, and everything is like, imagine it's like a Book of Eli filter. It's just on everything right now in our wasteland. Everything's kind of a weird gray blue as you find yourselves finally nearing sundown at the exterior of Fort Lupton is the name that we've decided this place has. As you arrive there in good time, you see that the entirety of the complex is not walled off, but fenced off, with some parts of it in better shape than others because it's been, about 200 years. It's a sprawling complex of concrete and corrugated buildings in, various states of repair and disrepair. And you do know from speaking to MacArthur in the last episode that there was a recon of this place done once upon a time, and there was some sort of settlers, wastelandery, raidery, somebody had been living here. But this was almost... Cat, shush. This was months ago, and even longer. This was before they even settled in Granby, let alone moved to Longmount and the raiders set in. And you've never really bothered to head out this way because it hasn't been much of a reason to, being a small town on the side of the road. What need would you have of a military base up until this point? But there it sits in front of you now. And from this distance, you do see that there's signs of life from someone or something has been set up shop here in the not too distant recent future past. That's not a word. Days of future past. But you can. But as you approach, you do notice that despite these signs of life, it is pin drop quiet, and you don't see activity of anyone walking around. What do you do?
Hey, Mr. Yuri.
Yes,
Mr.
Pedro.
Yuri,
Yes, Pedro. Yes, I'm here.
do you want me to go around the side and knock on the door, make a distraction?
I think maybe let us observe before we approach.
Oh yeah.
Miss Burton, how sneaky are you?
Sneaky.
Well,
Ooh.
let's see.
Oh, Burton.
How sneaky are you, Bert?
I would classify that in the not very category.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that
Why
accent.
sneaky when
I
you're this
actually-
sexy?
Unfortunately, I think I am. Yuri is the sneakiest.
Yuri's the rogue.
having
Yuri,
having
you're the rogue.
infiltrator and light step and
I guess you
hacker
kind of are.
as skills.
Really? Yes,
So,
you are.
I'm here to kick doors down. That's what's up.
Yeah, I will say, give me a moment. The sun is going down, correct? So it's like
It
it's
is.
not- it's
You did say you wanted to do some observation. If you wanted to do a sort of scout, get a lay of the land test, yeah, your group could do a.
let's do it. Let's do a group test. Let's
Yeah.
do some observation
Yeah.
before I approach this guy.
If you want to do a group, endurance, not endurance survival. We'll do this as an intelligence survival actually test.
Damn.
Perception survival. Sorry, intelligence is broken for you, Yuri. We'll do it as and it makes sense. You're perceiving. You were looking around. Perception
we're
survival
looking.
test as you sort of get a lay of the land of this joint. So, who wants to
We're
be
doing a group roll,
the
correct?
primary here? Yeah, and then an assist. Who wants to be the backup to roll a one backup?
Yuri has a perception survival of 14,
Okay, that's pretty good.
so I can be lead. And then Burton, why don't you back me up on this?
Yeah.
Sure, but I got a perception survival of 8.
Okay. I mean,
Oh,
it's.
well.
I mean, one dice, an extra dice is better than no dice. It will be a difficulty 3, and depending on how much you get, it's not gonna be a pass
we're
fail.
definitely gonna-
It won't be a pass
Buy a
fail.
dice,
It'll be
boys.
how much you
Buy a
get.
dice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna buy a dice.
Buy a
Yeah,
dice
yeah.
is smart. Okay. Yeah. Buy a dice. Very good. You guys will get to roll 3. Well, I guess you roll 3, Justin, and then throw in an extra 1 there, Raj.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, don't make too much noise and don't approach too closely. But let's get some eyes on this thing and see if there's any points of ingress that we can use quietly.
I'm coming, cat. Don't.
And then I kind of wink at Repairman Bert.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna roll these dice.
Amazing. Okay.
Oh! Okay, that's a crit.
Okay. So
and
that's
2 19s.
a crit and
So that's
2
one-
19s.
That's 2 successes.
You want to re-roll one
Now,
of them, Captain?
at this difficulty as well, a 19
Oh, that was
that was almost a 1, yes. And at this difficulty, a 19 is a complication as well at difficulty 3. So you might want to re-roll one of those, but
Use your
Hey.
luck.
double complication.
double comps.
Use your luck.
Oh man, I have only 4 luck. Okay, I'm gonna use one of the luck.
Okay. And you might get
I
another success
re-roll.
out of this too.
I re-roll 1 dice, correct?
That is correct.
And I need it to be
Well,
perception 14 or below.
Not a 19 is a start, but then 14 or lower would be better with the 5.
Okay, a 5 is another crit success. That's 2 more successes.
Okay, well
There we
done. So there is
go.
a complication stacked up there. So I am going to squirrel that away under my overseer hat for later. I'm not going to punish you now because you did get 2 crits on this. So I'll let those stand. So you have succeeded in this test. So what I will give you for this for free is the base is at this point in time abandoned. You sit and you watch and you don't see anyone moving around anywhere. You sit around for long enough that you think that if there's an ambush, especially if it's raiders, they are the most patient raiders in the world, or there's nobody home. I'll give you that for free. But what you find because of your crit observation, and I'll give you this too because you were talking about being so sneaky. I won't make you roll for it because, like I said, there is currently nobody home. So being as sneaky as you want, you're not gonna wake anybody up. But as you do some quick infiltrations, you do get a good lay of the land of this place and gain some good targets of opportunity. One of which being the Armory, and you get a good. For some reason, Yuri, you have a pretty good understanding of American military base layouts and why and how. For some reason, yeah, it's really strange how for some reason you don't even need to go and look at like any of the maps posted in any of the buildings.
Would I know kind of inherently there's probably going to be automated defenses in there?
You have an idea of some of it. You're sort of doing more of a sniffing around here than going digging into any particular areas. So, but you do find that there is an armory. You have an idea that it could there could be some defenses in and around this place in general, general defenses. In the armory, you also find the motor pool, which is where vehicles and the repairing things. So Bert, that could be potentially of interest for yourself. A mess hall, and the last thing that you discover is the barracks. And this stands out to you for a couple reasons, especially because of that crit. Number one, as I mentioned, that a lot of these buildings are in actually pretty decent shape. You do see the leftover sort of leavings of raiders that used to live here once upon a time.
Leavings is in an arm, or like leavings is in trash?
Well, that's particularly what we leave it to because, or where we get to, because as you approach the barracks, you discover that it is more leavings of the cleavings types, if you will.
Oh, cleavings, leavings.
Cleavings, leavings. It's the lesser known works of Dr. Seuss. Cleavings, leavings. But you
must not hack on pap.
Must not hack on pap.
I could not, would not on a boat.
I could not, would not eat some mutants. But this is where you find yourself here, is you find a scene of some expired raiders here in a pretty grisly scene. And next to the barracks, which it used to, the building itself is in pretty good shape, except for the door, which looks like something or someone was trying to smash its way in. And that's where we're going to leave it for our halftime break. And we will be back with the gang now in Fort Lupton, doing some Fort Lupton-y scavenging-y things for the second half of the show. But thank you all so much for tuning in for this first half. We're going to come back. We'll call it, what is it? It's we'll be back in, we'll call it 8:45, so a 10-minute break, a quick 10 here as we go, and you guys get yourselves a drink or a snack or whatever you need, a Nuka-Cola to keep this show going, because we're excited to get back here and do some scavenging and seeing what mysteries this fort could hold. So we're going to be back in a quick 10 minutes here. I forgot to mention at the top of the show that we are still doing some giveaways during this mini-series as well. We're going to be giving away this very Children of Adam book that I'm using to help guide us through part of this adventure. It can be yours in spankin' new. Well, not spankin' new because I'm using it right now, but that's kind of fun. You get to use the book that we use to tell the story. So if you want to get your name on this, we're going to give it away at the end of the last episode of this 3-part here. But if you want to get your name on the list, exclamation point prize pack in the chat will get you added to it for the big draw at the end of next episode. And we'll have some other freebies and some giveaways to go along with that as well, and we'll talk some more as we go on to that. So exclamation point prize pack in the chat. We're gonna go have a break. It will be back super soon. That's all I have to say as we say bye-bye and stay around. Okay, bye.
Okay, come back and do it.
so as the vault door slides open once more onto the second half of the episode, as we jump into the second half of the second episode of our Home on the Rage mini-series, A Fistful of Neutrons story. Thank you all for sticking through into the second half, where we're going to jump right into business right about now, because our gang have just traversed through the wasteland off to Fort Lupton from the home of Longmount, Colorado. In fact, to where now is currently being under siege by mutants, but in an attempt to hopefully bolster your defenses and maybe turn the tide in this dire time, you're looking for some loot and have just found yourselves at the fort. After Yuri did some skulking about on a very, very good perception roll, aided by our friend Bert, you have discovered that the raiders that once called this place home are now no more, and have been shuffled off the mortal coil. And as the rest of the group sort of gathers around with Yuri now and start to do a little bit of poking around, you do in fact see that it is totally a ghost town in here at the moment. There is the remnants of a fricas and a fracas in front of the barracks, which happen to be completely, the door looks to have been barricaded from the inside, and something or someone was trying to smash its way in. You do also discover, hello kitty cat, you do also discover that by the Armory, which you had spied earlier, Yuri, you do notice the, again, remnants of a bit of a scuttlebutt here as well, and you see the remnants of 3 dead super mutants outside the Armory doors. And that is where...
love that.
That is where we find ourselves here now. And again, there were 4 sort of points of interest, which you identified here, Yuri. The Armory, the barracks, the motor pool, and the mess hall.
Yes.
You have free reign of this place. It is theater of the mind. Think a little bit more, sort of describe-y than full-on narrative-y. Is there any... Where and what would you like to do here? In fact, let's kick off with... What do you want to do? Cat, come up here.
Burton, where are you? What are you doing?
Let's start checking inside some of these buildings. See what we got.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's open up some doors.
Let's open up some doors. Where would you like to start? You've got the boarded up barracks, the motor pool, the mess hall, and the armory.
Armory, I think.
Yep.
Armory. Okay, let's go for the gusto right away. Let's get that cherry on top. Heading over to the armory, you all do grok. I'll say, you're all sort of just moving as a team at this stage of the game. You come up to the armory, and you again see the remains of 3 dead super mutants outside. They are
Medicine check. Can I do a medicine check?
You most certainly can. Let's go.
I want to know how these motherfuckers died.
How dead are they?
How dead are
Yeah, how dead and how did they die?
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do just that. So, there we go. I've got my fort background in the background there. So let's go ahead and do just that. It'll be a difficulty 2. Test, depending on how much you succeed, will be on how much information you... Actually, we'll make it a difficulty 3, so you'll have staggered levels of what you may learn.
Okay.
Give it a... So, yeah. What do you find?
Intelligence medicine? Is that what you want?
It'll be a straight-up medicine check. Yes, sir.
Yeah, give it to me. Oh, that's 3 successes and a crit.
That's 3 successes.
Yuri, these dice are hot. These dice are hot
your dice
tonight.
are hot.
Who was there when they died?
He saw it.
I killed them.
I killed them.
Well, you in fact did not kill them, Yuri, but you are able to grok what did. You are taking a quick look at the bodies. You notice the telltale signs of gunshot wounds, as well as laser burns. And I'll give it to you for free because it's a crit there. As you approach the doors, and you see that they are more or less scattered around the sort of double doors of this armory, they're metal that are sort of swung inwards. You do hear, you don't see it, and you just save yourself because of the crit. I'll give it to you. You hear from inside, and yeah, you were right. There are turrets active inside here.
I'm gonna throw myself back against the metal doors, like with my back against them.
Yeah, sure.
And say, Burton, there seems to be automated defenses.
And actually, as you're saying that, it becomes very obvious because, you hold your head by the door just in time as small arms munitions fire and a bunch of lasers go flying through the doorway and so as you're saying this to Bert and like covering yourself, it's very obvious that there are defenses currently active as they fire off and leave a lot of bullets, but you are not hit by any of them. So there's...
Thank you, medicine. Medicine once again saves the day.
Thank you, medicine. Yes, you are able to definitely pull your head out of the way as you have discovered that the armory is in fact pretty locked down.
Armed?
The armory itself is
Armory
armed.
is armed.
Yes, it is a concrete. It is a concrete bunker with some smaller sort of slits with windows. But the only sort of entrance and egress of this brick of a building is this big old securityed door.
Overseer, may I? Did St. Louis beat us here?
He has not arrived yet.
Uh-oh. Okay. I would like to point this out to my compadres.
Compadres.
I was about to say communists, but that was not.
No, comrades is fine.
You're
absolutely
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that right, communists?
Yeah,
It's
you're expecting him. You're expecting him by nightfall. It's still daytime because you guys were making such good time.
Okay. Mr. Yuri, you want me to pick up a big piece of something and just carry it in and go crush the turret?
I'm kind of a little bit
sounds
rattled
like it can work.
Almost getting shot.
Sure.
If this is something you are comfortable with, Bert and I will be right on your ass. And actually, before we do that, I'm going to go and tie Enola up to like a heavy piece of something in the courtyard.
Yep.
Just so I know when we go into a building, she's not going to wander off or whatever.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. There's like some, big like cement tank trap things.
Yeah,
you can lash her up. Easy enough.
Hey, Burton, if I go in carrying something big, can you see if there's some kind of terminal or something to turn this thing off?
Yeah, I suppose I could have my eyes up or something like that.
All right, for lack of a better plan, I'm going to try to take a large object and use it as a massive tower shield and walk in towards this turret. Okay. And also, I think we should not destroy this turret because if we can pick it up and take it with us, I'd love to set up one of these mofuggas in our little town.
Yeah, it'd be great to take these turrets with us. 100%.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So just to recap, you want to walk in and hopefully not die with something using as a shield. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to take half a car and I'm going to walk in holding half a car.
Yeah. I'll say that. Yeah. If
not
you
the explosive half.
I will encourage this. I'll say you're able to if you want to do some rummaging around and spend an action point. You'll be able to find I don't know, not a riot shield per se, but like you're able to find a
engine block.
Yeah, we'll see. You take the doors off. You take the door off. One of the other buildings like
blows the doors
off an old sea can, and you've got this thing. Cool. Mounted up. I won't make you do a test for it because I'll make you spend the AP if you want to do it. But yeah, if you want to run in here using this thing as a shield, I will let you do that.
I am, after all, a doorman.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Okay.
You do this.
What do I roll?
I mean, I won't make you roll for it because you're just walking around a corner. But we're just gonna go ahead and kick off some initiative here. What I will make you roll is that you are getting shot all of a sudden.
Yes. That was the plan.
That was sort of the plan. So here's what's gonna happen. First of all, can you hold on to this thing while it's shooting at you? So this is going to be a difficulty.
Feels sort of critical.
Yeah,
Yep.
difficulty 4, strength and agility test. Strength athletics. Sorry. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. All right, that's fine. I'm gonna spend 1 dice. I don't want to give the overseer much more than that.
Good call. This is a good plan. This is a difficult test.
Dorman Gunz is gonna pray to the giant gun in the sky.
Yep.
And
the giant doorman in the sky.
Okay, so 2 successes. May I spend a luck point, and I'm going to roll one of them.
You may.
I'm going to roll that 18.
Reroll that 18. Fishing for crits, fishing for crits, fishing for crits.
Well, that's a success anyway.
Okay. It's 3. So, Dorman Gunz, just going to go and quickly pull up a quick encounter we had cooked up here real quick that I called Armory Turrets.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There
Cool.
it is.
Yeah,
Great.
and we're just gonna put.
I remember now you said it was difficulty 4, so this is hilarious.
Yeah, so we're gonna put Dorman Gunz in here, and so you drop the door gets hit by a barrage of fire, and even as strong as you are, Dorman Gunz, this thing, it comes. You drop it because it comes apart as it just is Swiss cheesed full of holes. And you get a quick glimpse of 3 turrets, 2 on the wall and 1 sort of in a central roof-mounted position. And there's lasers coming at you from the side and just a bunch of bullets pumping at you down from the front. So first and foremost, the machine gun turret is going to shoot at you. Target 14. It hits. It hits and it rolls 9 damage dice at you.
Oh, that's so many.
It does.
I'm stunned.
It does
My
5.
right arm.
A critical hit to your right arm, and then we're just going to see if either the laser turrets hit with a target of 13. The first one misses.
No,
Second one.
Get the heck out of here.
Second one hits, and it's going to also shoot at you. For no, I made it target its own machine gun.
I was really
turret.
hoping this would work better.
I mean,
so were we all.
It couldn't have.
I think everyone wanted it to work better.
I mean, I didn't say it wasn't going to work. I wanted to see how this played out, and
good.
now we know 7 energy damage coming at you.
Oh, shit ass.
Actually, that should be 5 because of your armor resistance is 3. But either way, you just took 10 damage, Dorman Gunz, of your 20.
My left arm. And my right arm, both critically injured. So no more door holding, I guess, for me. That was.
Yeah, that was
ill-conceived. You just got smoked. It is now your turn. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna step backwards out of the door.
Out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put what's left of the door on the ground, and I'm gonna look down at my critically injured left and right arms.
As they swing.
I'm just going to shake my head no towards Yuri.
No. And this is actually a perfect
no.
time for St. Louis to walk up and go, "What is that supposed to be, an impression of me or something?"
This is good. This is good joke. I have to hand it to you.
One good arm between the two of you.
And even that's debatable.
Dorman Gunz just starts laughing, and he's in pain because half his hit points are gone and his arms are hanging uselessly. So, ouch. Anyone else have any better ideas? That was shit.
Did Gunz spot like any sort of like terminally looking devices that could be hacked potentially?
A great question. So you did notice a few things while you were getting turn tail after getting shot there. Yeah, you noticed just all of the guns heaped in a pile and just ready to grab and they're ready
There's
to
a
go.
stack
No,
of guns in
no,
there?
there's just a stack of guns. No, you did definitely notice that there is like a quartermaster's sort of terminal. You notice that there's two sort of halves to the room. In the front half, which has all these turrets in it, there were lockers along the sides, which you didn't see what's in them, but they looked pretty tasty and lootable. And then there was sort of like a desk with a terminal on it, with a metal sort of grated chain link gate. You didn't get a grok of what's beyond.
Okay. I will relay what I've seen, and I'm going to sit down and.
Well, as you sit down, I'm obviously going to do some medicine on you.
Well, let's go ahead and do 2 quick medicine checks for those busted up arms there.
busted up arms. This was probably not the best idea that you've ever had, Gunz, or Pedro, I should say. This is so foolish of you. Why would you think that would work?
Now we know. Now we know.
Now we know.
Now you don't like the idea.
I was kind of confused at first.
You're one of those armchair tacticians,
Okay,
huh?
there you go.
Crit and a success.
Okay, what I'll give you to that to save time is that you've patched up his arms. They're not currently anymore critically injured. They haven't been fully healed. You'll need some actual doctoring back home for that.
Yeah.
But I'll also give you some hit point rolls there. So roll a d6 and add your medic. We'll do it all in one roll instead of making you do.
Yeah, for sure.
So roll a d6 and then add
so you get 6. You get 6 back.
There you go. 6 hit points back.
Nice.
From that there. So that'll put you. So all in all, you took 7 damage in that exchange. Okay. Could have been worse. But yeah, you now have a pretty good feeling that without some sort of intervention, these guns are beyond your door man abilities.
Yeah. Unless there's a handy tank turret and my arms can get magically healed with
There's
Stimpaks we don't have, so never mind.
Yep. I wanted to see how that could go. If you held on to that thing, you would have been doing a lot better. But the dice tell the story.
We could have made a break for it.
The dice tell the story. So you've found yourselves with a bit of an immovable object here, boys. Mm-hmm. What's the plan? And there is more base, of course, to discover.
Why don't we go check out the motor pool, see if there's something with a little bit of armor, help us take care of these guns.
No, that's a
cool.
thinking man
If there's like a building with no traps that's got a power armor suit sitting in it, that'd be cool.
All right.
Motor pool.
To the motor pool.
Okay. Motor pool.
Okay. To the motor.
Justin, am I allowed to shamble now? Can I shamble?
Oh,
this is shambles.
Oh, you got left.
Okay, I'm gonna shamble now
for sure. As you're walking back, St. Louis. We were gonna let the fates decide. So whether it be recon or gear that he was good with, let's let. Actually, you know what, Raj? We'll do the D100.
Yes.
Roll it up. If it's 1 to 50, it'll be he found perhaps some goodies. And if it's 51 to 100, he'll have some recon news.
Okay.
That's a 5.
Ooh, that's a low roll.
It's a low roll.
Okay.
Low roll.
As you're walking towards the motor pool, he shambles up to you, Yuri, and as he says,
what is up with all the shit?
That was the joke. I was able to do a little bit of scrounging around. Not, to be honest, there's not a whole hell of a lot left around these days. I mean, we noticed the lack of game, but I scoured through a couple red rockets and some other random way stations and whatnot. Didn't find a ton, but I did find, we're gonna say, food. Will be what you guys found, some food stuffs. So we'll do some maybe between sessions we'll do some rolls on the food tables to see what St. Louis has brought back to the settlement.
We pack it away in an Olame and continue on to the motor pool.
We'll figure out the specifics of the MacGuffins later as we go. But you get to the motor pool with your newfound food and stuffs from the food and stuff. It's where I get most of my food and most of my stuff. And you do discover here, you're a little cautious as you approach, but it is significantly less trapped to the tune of no traps. It is basically a giant garage with like two big sort of rolling doors you pull up with chains, and there's pre-war vehicles in here of the military variety that have been sort of busted up, and they were busted up because they were being repaired in here in the first place. Bert, you feel right at home in this little shop. There's machines unlike things that you've seen, mechanical, like hydraulic presses and jacks and freaking like even like a tire changing or like a wrench is like a pile driver is like something you're just like, holy shit, this is cool stuff. As you are now inside the motor pool. You were keen to perhaps find something that could maybe
of the tank variety.
There's not a tank unless you want to give me like 10 action points to find like a working tank. But if you want to do like a let's say maybe a search. Let's do a search and endurance test. Not search and endurance test. Let's do a because this is more of a repairman birdie type thing. You're trying to sort of figure out a mechanical solution to this.
It's like
problem.
an A-team montage,
Yeah,
you leave him alone in a room and he cobbles something together.
It's MacGyver. You're MacGyvering a solution. So we're gonna do this a little bit different here, repairman Bert. It's going to be the test has no difficulty. It's a difficulty 0 test, but depending on how well you do, will determine potentially what is populated out of this find here. So it's a blind test basically, and we'll make it in your wheelhouse, a repair intelligence test. And depending on what you're give me a little bit, give me the roll here, and we'll see what we can MacGyver out of this situation.
Let's see what we get. That is a target 14.
Okay.
Here we go.
Not a bad target.
Here we go.
Okay, so we got a crit in there, so it's three
successes.
3 successes. Okay, I like
not bad.
I like this a lot. Yeah, you're able to do a little bit of thinking outside the boxing here, Bert, and you take a quick look at what's around. I'll make it kind of twofold here. You find one thing of interest just from sort of searching around, and that's one machine gun turret itself that is in a state of disrepair. There's a work order slip next to it, like a tag. So it had been sent here to get repaired from somewhere else in the base.
Goes in the little red wagon
before the bombs drop. So because of the crit, I'll give you that for free. You found a non-functional machine gun turret of the Mark IV variety. So she's spicy. It's this, and in fact, Gunz, you will recognize it as the same thing that just fucking tore a strip off of you. In fact,
cool.
Yeah,
that doesn't induce any PTSD whatsoever. I'm extremely cool.
About bringing back any.
Everything's cool.
In fact, I like that. You turn a corner, Gunz, when you're not looking, and you come face to face with it, and like.
Can I scream so high pitched it's more like a squeak?
Absolutely.
Can I turn around the corner and be like, "Bit!" And like.
Absolutely that, and that is how the team discovers that turret, which is then put into the wagon, but more so of the turret fixing variety. Actually, Bert, I like this. What you're able to do. I like this a lot. You find a old. It's a truck, just like an old, like a regular, pickup truck.
Like a pickup truck.
But on the front of it is a snowplow, which has been mounted up on top of it because we clear the base from snow. You are able. I'll give you with this roll to get it not running as like a working vehicle, but you are able to get the hydraulic lift on it rolling, so you're able to get it to go up and down. And what I'll say is between because I like the problem solving sort of situation here, between your MacGyver role and Dorman Gunz being a big strong boy, I would say you guys would be able to push this thing with a good strength test, but we've got some busted arms, so it might be a little tricky to push.
I did get a bit of healing.
Enola could help drag it.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay. I like this. Okay, so
I don't want to put her in harm's way personally, but
No, she'll help drag, like as long as
yeah,
Yeah.
standing in front of
narratively,
Suppose
I think.
truck in front of the
Okay.
door.
Yeah,
and then,
like
And then
first
you guys
guy
from the
rest.
back. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, you guys position the snowplow in front of the armory doors, and Bert gets the
hell yeah.
hydraulic going, so it's high enough that it's going to cover your vitals, and then between Dorman Gunz and Enola, we'll do the assist here. We'll do a strength test to push this thing in, and again, because we're kind of doing these 0 to 5 counting up tests, depending on how high you get successes is how far you're able to push this thing into the hole. So that's what she said. Give me a roll of the strength and athletics variety, sir. And Enola
feels
will
like,
be able to throw one in here. We'll say she's it's a pass fail. So I'll roll a dice for her.
Sure, yeah.
So give me a roll there, Garrett.
already. This is
Pablo Dorman
just a
Gunz.
straight up roll. Hobbly.
Oh,
no!
no.
Holy.
Oh no!
I re-roll
No,
Please.
guns, those broken
Can I-
arms of yours.
Oh,
Can I-
man.
can
He
I-
gets
can I
shot
please
again
luck
in both
point?
arms.
You
Spend
can
that.
luck point out. This is a
Oh
pretty
my
good one to
God.
spend it on.
Oh my god. Okay, that's a pass.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's 2 plus Enola.
2 successes.
Yeah, so roll for Enola.
Enola
What a
is a fail, unfortunately. No dice
Oh,
there.
no.
But you got two successes through thanks to crossing out that complication. And in fact, we do, unfortunately, I am going to pull over my overseer hat just a bit and pull out Justin's complication from later and drop it on the game as well and reinstate that complication on top of your success. So you still got the success, but we're going to throw another complication in there just to mix things up a bit, because as Enola you're pushing but your arms are all busted up and you're like ugh. But Enola gives one big headbutt with both of her heads as it pushes and the wheels, well, there's no tires on them anymore because they've rotted away over the years, but the rims grind and push yourselves through, and this thing does sort of just squeeze itself through these giant double doors and push itself through to the armory. You can get now, because of that 2 successes, you can't quite get to that computer where you could maybe get that gate open and maybe turn that thing off without somebody having to run into the line of fire again. But from where you are here now, you have a bit of a safety bubble. It's not a lot, but you could dash out and grab some goods from these things as well. But if you want, I'll clear that up. I'll say you can do some looting for free, but if you want to try to deactivate these turrets, somebody's going to have to jump out into the line of fire. And,
I'll do it.
Okay.
Gunz will do it.
Okay.
There's a lot of show left. I just want to remind you guys.
Yeah,
There's that.
I have.
And there's a lot
Gunz
of
will
base
do
you
it.
haven't explored.
Before anyone can do anything or say anything,
Okay.
Gunz will do it.
And you're gonna, just to remind you, you're gonna go and hack a terminal right now.
I'm not hacking
no.
a terminal. I'm gonna grab a turret and I'm gonna wrestle that MFer.
I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna-
in and hack.
Yeah,
He's gonna
somebody
hack.
else is gonna go in and hack
I'm
a
gonna
terminal.
go grab it. I'm gonna grab a turret and aim it at the other turrets. Is what
Okay.
I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Cause fuck turrets number 2 and 3 is what's up.
Sure. Okay. If this is what's happening, we'll say that you're running for a turret ambush while Burton is making a break for the thing. So I'll say that Bert's not going to get any targets coming his way. It's all going to be coming at you, Gunz.
Yes.
Oh my God.
This is
So I
a
get
good
to go
idea.
double time without being shot at.
You better
Yeah,
hurry your ass
You can
up.
move. Okay.
I'm gonna hustle.
So here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. We will do the strength test first. And it's going to be hard, man. It's going to be, again, we're at a level 10, really difficult campaign we're doing here. It's going to be difficulty 4. Do you still want to do it?
Yeah, I already
Okay.
said I was doing it.
Okay.
+1, I'm spending a thing.
Okay.
I'm athletics checking. I'm rolling 3 dice, and they're all giving. Oh, fuck ass!
Oh my god!
I'm re-rolling. I'm re-rolling.
He's
I'm
using
re-rolling.
all his luck points. He's
I'm
using all
re-rolling.
his luck
I'm
points, you
re-rolling.
guys.
I'm going. Risk it for the biscuit.
It's a
Yes,
crit.
yes.
Oh.
Risk it for the biscuit.
You did it. You pulled it off. Your luck points are a resource that you are burning through, but sir, you have
I'm almost
done
there.
it. I reward punishment and reward. This is why
Was that
we're
a
here.
crit?
It was a
The
crit.
3 is a crit?
It's a crit.
It's a crit.
Okay, so you did it.
You do it.
Did it.
You jump and you jump on top of the front turret,
Yeah.
and you're gonna take it in the stomach, but you are able to rotate it around, and it's able to take out one of the other turrets before it shoots you. So that's a big thing. One of the laser turrets is now down, but we do still need to resolve these shots before we get to
I got
the
shot.
shot. So
Roll it.
the machine gun turret coming
Okay.
at you from Kamchatka, 14 to hit.
Kamchatka.
It hits.
Yeah.
That's
Please
cool.
don't.
Oh,
Please.
that's a lot of
so many
dice.
I said
now.
please.
Oh, I'm stunned.
Another
My right
six.
arm again.
Another 6. So your right arm is now unhealed.
Right arm.
Right arm. And now we're gonna go again
arm.
to the laser turret, 13 to hit.
No. Oh,
No!
oh my god.
Oh shit!
Oh, god.
That's okay.
Okay.
4 damage
That's
is
okay.
a 1 because I have damage.
4 damage
reduction.
is a 1 because you have damage reduction. Yes,
His
sir.
brother
So,
flesh
so
wound.
that didn't
but
take.
it has piercing, doesn't it? Oh, don't shush.
Actually, yeah. In this case, it does have
Only
it-
1 though.
Yeah, it's piercing
wait,
1.
is
So
that
yes,
3
still
piercing?
it's not piercing 3. But yeah, still that hurt. Gunz, you're back
does.
now. Yeah, you're now back down to half health again, and then some.
Yeah.
But you've now taken out a turret, and now what really matters is Bert. While all of this is happening, you make
Bert,
a
buddy.
beeline for that terminal. So let's get some hacking
Bert, buddy.
going.
Oh my God, Bert.
Give me a. It'll be intelligence plus. Well, I guess it is. Well, the hack.
Science?
Yeah, science.
God, Bert, you better
All right.
hack the
Now,
shit
I
out of this
believe-
Hack a
gun.
planet.
I believe because of your
Hack the
background
planet.
and your clothing, which is a lab coat, but we're calling it your overalls, you get to re-roll, I believe, one intelligence test. It's basically the lab coat, which like Yuri had, or still has technically.
What's the difficulty of the check?
Sorry. The difficulty of the check is surprisingly easy. This was the part. If you could get to it, was going to be pretty easy to do. It's only a difficulty 2.
Okay, I'm gonna spend an AP and buy 1 dice.
Okay,
So,
smart plan.
so I'm +1.
Plus 1.
Intelligence science target 14. Science is tag skill. Here we go.
Here we go.
Come on, baby. Yeah.
Oh, that'll do it.
Ah.
That'll do it.
Whoa.
That'll do it.
See you later.
Pray to our
Son
Lord and
of
Savior, Bert
Gunz,
and
your
Ernie.
sacrifice was not in vain, my friend.
It was not as in fact
I
as
quit.
as you take another barrage there, Gunz, and it pushes you back against the wall. You hear these things cycle up and get ready for another fucking blast, and like the barrel of the Gatling gun is spinning, and like you hear the firing pin about to click as it just starts spinning the other way, and then the one wall-mounted one remaining seals up in a little tiny pod and pulls into the wall, and the other one hangs limp and lifeless as this room is now smoking, and there's like bullets, casings everywhere, and laser fire all over the place, and there's a truck in the middle of this staging area of this armory, and shit is all kinds of fucked. But you have, by will or by force, solved my machine gun puzzle.
Hey,
May
fellas,
I give a short
how's that
speech?
for timing?
You see 10 green fingers come up over the top of the snowplow, and just eyes. Pedro,
Kilroy was here.
Pedro, are you okay? Are
Can
you
I give
all
a
right?
short speech?
Please, I would love it if you.
Oh, 'tis but a flesh wound.
Nice.
I'm obviously gonna rush to attend to Pedro because he's
Just
been,
like
You got
Shredded.
shot like so many fucking times by that thing.
Shredded.
Indeed.
Here you go, son.
God.
There you
Indeed.
go.
There you
Double
go.
successes.
Yes.
There
We'll
okay.
we'll narrative. Yeah. We'll narrate another
That's-
8 hit points.
That's
yeah.
8 hit points back,
Yeah,
and your fucking arms are healed, dipshit.
Man, you have healer 3 perk is no joke. Hey, like that extra
Healer
3.
Healer 3 fucks.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
bad. Yeah, you went from having 13 wounds to 5. That's not bad. But anyway, we'll
Holy
say for the
crap.
sake of brevity and time, and also because that was just too funny, we'll narrate through what you guys are able to find, and we'll skip through some of the other parts of the armory too, should you decide to still poke your heads around. But what you are able to find in the armory here, fair enough. And now that the gates are open, things are, you took some hits, you burned some resources, both action points, luck points, and sanity points of your overseer, making that happen. But it was worth it, because in here, in the lockers, you find a veritable army's worth of rifles, service rifles, good shape looking service rifles, more than you can probably carry. Like, you could outfit probably like a good 40 to 50 dudes here if you took all the parts of all the busted ones and put it together. But there's a stockpile of weapons in these lockers that you think you could make some pretty darn good use of in your current situation. You also find, which will probably be of interest to yourself, Gunz, in this sort of smaller munitions lockers, a small stockpile of grenades, and not of the baseball variety like the small ones that you have, but a good heap and helping. We'll do a roll or two here to determine exactly how many you do find. In fact, why don't you go ahead and roll me 2d6 right now and tell me how many grenades you found inside the armory.
All right. I'm rolling some numbers. Oh, 8. Sweet.
Okay, you found 8 grenades, which ain't not too bad. That's just in this sort of little front room here. But because of your daring play for the computer there, Bert, you've unlocked that gate, the chain link fence there with a sort of high-tech military grade lock pad on it. Now swings open to your pleasure, and as you do, the lights in here are motion activated, and because it's a cool scene, they all kick on. And as they do, you see that there are, of the similar bent of the broken turret that you found inside the motor pool, you find 4 more turrets, and these ones are looking good.
Yeah, everything
Nice.
in the little red wagon.
And crisp. Everything in the little red wagon. So,
one for each direction, north, south, east, west.
and
baby.
one broken one to do with as you please in there as well. So cleaning up a little bit on the armory. Took some pain for it, but you have done just that. There are 2 other locations in this base. It is now after that whole sort of kit and caboodle and getting everything loaded up from the armory, which is, I'll give it to you for free. It was the cherry of this place on top of the sundae. Well done, gang.
Thanks, Gunz.
Thanks, Gunz. Yeah. And
No problem, guys. No problem.
It's paid off for you here as well, but there is still the boarded up barracks and the mess hall as well. Should you choose.
Yeah.
It is now
I
getting
think,
pretty late, so if you do decide to stick around any longer, you may be getting into fatigue territory.
I think what we should do is you head to the barracks and make them safe to stay here this evening. I think we should hunker down and leave at first light. I'm going to take St. Louis, and we'll check out the mess hall for any sundries that have been left behind. How does this sound?
That works for me.
I'm tempted.
That's
to
what we're
come along
doing.
to
Let's
help.
fucking do it.
Tempted to come along to help. Don't know how much help I'll be, but
I think
tell
you
you
would
what.
be best suited to stick with Bert and head to the barracks. They seem to
I'll
be
get those barracks up
I'll
and
hold
running,
down the
no
barracks.
problem.
tell you what.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Well, then we'll do Yuri and St. Louis first, as you and we'll sort of run through it more of a narrative description, because as you get to the mess hall and you show up inside it, whereas the motor pool was left pretty much untouched by sort of whatever mutants were milling about here that got themselves killed by the armory. Almost Gunz adding himself to the pile of dead mutants outside the armory. But you find that the mess hall, Yuri, is completely different story. This place has been ransacked and torn apart head to toe, limb from limb, furniture strewn everywhere, and like every stitch of everything as you search appears to be almost picked clean, like industrial buckets of like condiments and shit from like the expired nasty military grade stuff and MREs from 200 years ago, shit that even you, a ghoul, wouldn't even touch, have been absolutely devoured and picked clean. And there's also like a few more dead bodies of mutants in here too, that I'll give it to you for free with the medicine checks, is that it looks like they've been like full on trampled underfoot in what like it from what appears to be in this place like the world's most lethal food fight or feeding frenzy, probably more accurately, took place inside this building, and it is ransacked. But I will give you the opportunity to do a searching roll. Give me a we'll call it a survival plus a good old fashioned survival endurance roll to see if you're able to find anything of any sort of salvage.
Survival endurance
in here. Yep, straight up and down.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, that's a crit success.
A crit success, absolutely. St. Louis, after his...
have I rolled something that has not been a crit this show? I think I've rolled a crit every time.
I think you might.
You fucking idiot!
You jinxed it now. I'm going to make you roll again just to try to break it. Just to break it. Yeah, exactly. So, thankfully, because of St. Louis's scavenging, I like how this is all narratively making sense. Because he was out scavenging before, he's encountered... at some of the red rockets and the other way stations he passed by along his scavenging route while he split up from you guys, he saw similar scenes to this, and was able to find some food. So he kind of knows where they're not looking for food when they're going on these rampages, and he is able to find again some more food to add to your stockpile into the little red wagon that he found before. So this is looking like a pretty decent little haul now between what you found here and what he found out in the waste. You guys, the townsfolk are going to eat pretty good for the first time in a long time when you guys get back to town. Smash cut to the other scene with our man Bert and doorman Gunz. Gunz, the door, you can see that it's been pretty well boarded up. Something from the inside is sort of stopping you from pushing it open. You can tell that it's pretty obvious at this stage of the game that some of your mutant brethren have been trying to break in here at one point in time and probably gave up and headed over to the Armory's way. But you think that you could give it and won't make you roll for it because you might break your arms and we're running short on time. So you and Bert, between the two of you with Bert's mechanical engineering, using some Type 3 levers
leverage and a fulcrum.
Done. Ooh. Just because you said that, the door is open now.
Fulcrum.
And you were able to fulcrum, get the door open. And what you see inside is a
Type 3 lever, you fucking nerd.
Yeah. What you see inside is not a lot because it's rather dark. But as you sort of mill about and get some mechanical light, we'll say, you've got like a flashlight or something in Enola's pack that you're able to get turned on in here. And you see a pretty gnarly and grisly scene, a continuation, if you will, almost of what is happening outside, but a little bit different. Whereas it was mutants, eating some nastiness out front. And here you see what appears to be three raiders who made not so much a last stand, but a last holdout in this spot. Two of them are little more than hulked, burned out carcasses in one far corner of the room, where on the other corner you find the remains of another dead raider. This one not, let's just say, chewed upon, with a gunshot wound to the head and a pistol in his hand, slumped over what looks like a pretty grisly meal that was probably made up of his buddies. This place has seen some pretty nastiness. Not just the mutants who attacked from the outside, but the depravity that attack has caused, with these 3 raidery types locked in here have succumbed to their more primal urges. But that is environmental storytelling from a time past, because there's nobody else in here, because they're all dead at the moment. But you are able to turn this sort of macabre tomb, as it were, into a bit of a sleeping spot, should you choose.
May I?
You may.
You guys are really bringing down the whole vibe in this place.
I'm gonna take all of the bodies and everything, and just like with my dead arms, I'm gonna kick them outside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take
Your
them
arms are fine. I fixed your arms twice.
My
fix
arms
your
are
arms.
fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. I'm in 2 slings like this. And
Yeah.
like, I'm kicking corpses out the door.
I like it.
I ain't no time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't
I'm kicking
nobody
corpses out the
got
door.
time for that. Kicking
Bert's gonna
corpses.
pull together like
out
a
the
sleeping
door.
area of sorts.
Yeah.
Gonna find cots. Gonna make a nice big giant bed for Gunz.
Big giant
Big
bed.
giant bed. Yeah, I
Like,
like
Bert,
that.
could you make a hypoallergenic version for me? I have severe allergies, and I'm
allergic to rad stags. Yeah. You're able to get this place looking into. Yeah, it's not the greatest place you guys have ever spent the night, but you're able to make it work. You're able to make it work. And while you're spending the night here, in fact, why don't you guys give me a quick, someone do me an endurance survival test to see if you find anything of use in this building as well.
Yeah, that's not a
I
bad
think-
roll for me if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Gunz is probably the best at endurance.
Sounds about
survival.
right.
Got you.
Yeah.
I got you, son. I do not got you.
Okay. You do not get it. You give a
Do not
look.
get you at all.
There you get the impression that there probably wasn't a lot of to that hadn't already been utilized by these raiders after they locked themselves in here to escape the mutants for however long they were locked inside this building. There's nary a scrap of food and little to be found. But as you make yourselves at home for the night, you sort of are taking stock of your stock, if you will, and what you've gained. And what started out again with that bit of hope in the beginning of the day just really starts to pang out now into a real sort of jovial situation. You guys had a bit of a dust up in here with those turrets, but you also were able to solve that problem and what seemed again like you were finding, hitting a dead end and an impossible situation. Again, Longmount has found a way to get through, and if you can just keep getting those little wins, maybe you think you guys can get to a bigger one. And as you have a little campfire and St. Louis with his one arm playing harmonica, however that works.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
But he does. He pulls out a jaunty tune, and you guys you're feeling a little bit more like a party. In fact, you start having a couple drinks that, Bert likes to have his flask keen at hand, and that starts sipping around, and you all start thinking about how much you think Johnny would probably like this right about now. And you guys feel you guys
that guy Johnny's a good guy.
yeah, maybe, I bet you Grant, I wonder what they're up to right now. So you guys are kind of the B squad of a C squad of adventurers, and right now you guys are feeling a little bit more like the A squad. You don't know where the main 3 adventurers are and what they're doing, but right now you guys feel like you're doing a
Just for the record,
pretty
at the
darn good
moment,
job.
I do not feel like the A squad.
The A squad of the B squad, right? And as the camera pans out from this lovely scene, it pans back towards Longmount, of day's ride down the road, where again there's some jovial happenings, and you can see MacArthur is still cracking whip, and he's getting the folks doing some pungy sticks and whatnot, and they're getting some traps on the go, and
Tiger traps.
yeah, and doing what you guys were saying, and it's looking a little hopeful there as well. As again, the camera pans out one more time, further down, further out towards the wasteland and into darkness from the lights of Longmount. But then in the distance, another small light. It grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and as it grows, and as the squad gets closer, as the camera gets closer and closer, it's not just the light that grows, but a sound.
War drums.
Quiet at
Drums.
first.
How's it do?
Dun, 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 Jumanji. As it's getting louder and louder and louder as that light grows, and you see the silhouettes of large green hulking bodies and larger green hulking bodies and even weirder green hulking bodies and weird flying nasty things, and all sorts of hell itself is loose, and all the demons are here. As we're going to see you all in 2 weeks' time for the epic finale of Home on the Rage, a Fistful of Neutrons story. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We will be back in 2 weeks' time for another show, which puts us on September the... Somebody help me out. My calendar's not opening up here.
10.
The 10th, there it is. The 10th of September. We will back. Do you remember when we're back on the 10th of September? Is when we will be playing another show, and we'll be wrapping up this battle here. Maybe a little bit longer one, depending on how things go. But so far, the pacing has been pretty on point. So we'll see how this finale episode goes. But we're also gonna be doing the giveaway for the Winter of Adam quest book. Really excited to putting all of these, the travel stuff, the AP exchanging has been really fun. At least I've been enjoying it as an overseer. I hope you guys as players have been enjoying this new sort of exchange, and I hope you folks at home are enjoying this sort of new way we're telling this story, as well as we're going to be back in 2 weeks with the finale. Exclamation point prize pack in the chat. Check out all the names. We'll get them added to the list for the finale when we'll do that draw at the end. And yeah, thank you all again so much for all of the donations that have helped us get this stream up and running again. We've got this new machine now. Things are running whiz bang awesome. Justin, because we've upgraded our new machine, it means that our old machine is now Justin's current streaming rig, and as you can see, the moose, it's a little choppy, but it hasn't crapped out at all this entire time. We are at the point here now where I just jinxed it, where we've been trying to get to. I just jinxed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've just gotten to the point. This is the stream now. It sounds silly, but all of the things that I do on the back end behind the scenes here, it's all working. It's all running the way that we've wanted it to work for the last 2 years of running the show. It just works, to quote our Lord and Savior, Tom Howard. So thank you all so much for what you've helped us build here. It's amazing. And we're going to keep telling this story for as long as you guys are watching. So thank you again. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. I've said that about 16 times now, so we're just going to wrap it up and get on to the show. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.